Welcome to the show. I'm Jason Whitlock, and I'll tell you why these displays of unity around the NFL might not be spreading unity.
And I'm Colin Cowherd, and I'll tell you why Odell Beckham Jr. owes the team a major apology.
I agree. We finally agree.
Speak for yourself starts now.
Unbelievable.
I'm not sure the reason will be the same.
We finally agree.
God, that'll stink for the show.
Happy Thursday. Welcome to the show. We're joined today by Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings and Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson. Let's start in Green Bay, where the protests against President Trump's verbal attack on the NFL will continue tonight, with the Packers locking arms in a show of unity before their matchup with the Bears. But Aaron Rodgers has added a new wrinkle to the team's pregame demonstration, asking fans to join in.
But we got to come together and talk about these things and grow as a community, as a connected group of individuals in our society. And we're going to continue to show love and unity. And this week we're going to ask the fans to join in as well and come together and show people that we can be connected and we can grow together.
Cowherd, this is going to sound crazy. I'm actually on pins and needles for this game. This Trump thing, Hurricane Trump, is actually, in my view, making the NFL more compelling. Am I crazy here?
No, you're not. The pregame shows were up. My ratings this week, I monitor them, have been up. Listen, we learned this from Trump. Chaos equals, that's Trump's brand, is it not?
It's
Trump's like, he says stuff during the campaign, you're like, oh, that's going to sink him. And more people came in. Chaos. The Kardashians have made a 10-year career on, what did they do? It's more compelling.
If this were the Bears-Packers on a Thursday night, I'm telling you, I'd be like, oh, Bears-Packers, boring. Even though Aaron Rodgers is playing, I'm on pins and needles. What's going to happen tonight? Are the players going to be distracted and overcome with the emotion? Are the fans going to join in and sign a unity and lock arms? Will there be booing? This is not the typical Thursday night game. And again, I'm not trying to spin this in a positive direction because I think over the long haul, this is not going to be good. But right now, this feels like a WWE storyline that's kind of got me hooked.
I kind of agree. I do. I agree.
I think when that game starts, 3 to 5 minutes in that football game, that'll be over with. Trust me, they're not thinking about this. You know, when they do sing the national anthem, you know, whatever happens will happen. But you know, Greg, when it's time to play football, you're not worried about what's in the stands. You're not worried about, you know, what happened with your girlfriend, your wife.
You're talking about the players. But as a fan,
as a fan, but still, I mean, as a fan. But I think even the fans. This is the Bears and the Packers. This is that kind of game. This is a rivalry game. You know, the Bears are not very good, but it's still a Bears and the Packers football game. And I think really when the game starts, the fans be like, forget that. We're like worried about our football team. I'll focus on our football team, and we hate the Packers. The Packers hate us. We hate the Bears. I think that's what it'll go back to.
It makes it compelling because this is the smallest market in professional sports, and they do it the right way. And the reason why I'm can't wait. I'm kind of like you. I'm on pins and needles too because I want to see. And it's funny because you want to see not just the game, but you really want to watch what's going to happen before the game starts. That's what's most interesting about it, intriguing. But why it's intriguing to me is the way they've done it. They sent out Aaron Rodgers, their face, their franchise guy, to do it. Even though Martellus Bennett was the initiator of it, we're not going to have you go out and deliver it on an entree to our fans. Aaron, are you in agreement with this? Absolutely. You go and do this. They will come together as a unit, as a collective group of individuals, as a brotherhood, as a community, and they will lock arms. They will show some type of love and unity. I truly believe it.
You know, we were on opposite sides when KD left for the Warriors. You thought it was not great for the league.
Yeah, that was weak. Yeah.
But we both admitted we watched the first year of it. Mm-hmm. And then it spurned other player movement. Now, like when all-stars stay, it's surprising. This is fluid. What happens tonight at Green Bay, if it goes well, could move to Seattle. So what's happening to your point? This is not, there's no finish line with this. This story, like you said, it's a pro wrestling thing. It's moving and By the way, when Trump eventually won the election, okay, that's the finish line. And then for about a couple of months, But then he gets going again, and one of the Trump strengths, I guess, not strengths, but it's one of his qualities, he creates new races. He creates new chaos. So I think this story, to your point, we'll watch tonight, and then how will it affect other reactions from fans and players?
Across the league, because again, this thing tonight with Aaron Rodgers and Packers fans, this is middle America.
Yes.
This is title town. This is where football lives. And so they do have an opportunity to set a tone for the rest of the league. If their fans come together, lock arms, and this lands really well, I think fans in other NFL cities like, oh, we have a chance to top or to do the same thing. And again, I'm sitting here, I was frustrated last week. Last week I even talked about Thursday Night Football, man, they're wearing me out, all these different storylines. And now I come a week later, and I'm like, what the hell's going to happen tonight? But also just how's it going to land? How, as a viewer, am I going to experience it?
This is the Speak for Yourself podcast. I'm your host, Jason McIntyre. Before the show moves along, I wanted to tell you about my favorite new app called Draft. If you love fantasy football, then you need to try the Draft app. On Draft, you play real live snake drafts with other people, just like in your regular fantasy league. But here's the twist that makes Draft my favorite new app. It's a draft that lasts for just 1 week, and there's no management. Just set it and forget it. Once you're done drafting, that's it. No trades, no waiver wire. Draft even takes care of last-minute injuries for you. And if you didn't win 1 week, on the Draft app, you can start all over for next week. Drafts start every couple minutes, so you can join one right now. And the best part? Play for cold, hard cash. Drafts start from just $1, so there's a draft for everyone. Come and join me on Draft today. Download the app at any time. Just search Draft in your app store and join a game in minutes. Or play right from your computer on playdraft.com, whatever you want. For a limited time only, all new players get a free entry into a draft when you make your first deposit. But you have to use my promo code SPEAK. That's right, play a real money game for free just for using my promo code SPEAK on your first deposit on Draft. Just search Draft in the App Store or go to playdraft.com and come play free with promo code SPEAK.
All right, welcome back to the show. Greg Jennings and Eric Dickerson are back. Let's move to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have been dealing with the aftermath of staying in the locker room during the national anthem last Sunday. Earlier this week, Big Ben expressed regret over the decision, while Mike Tomlin said his players just want to play football. Now a new report claims the tension was palpable in the Steelers' locker room after the game and the protest. Cowherd, these demonstrations are being sold as displays of unity, but are they actually dividing locker rooms?
No. I think what they're doing is they were real trouble for locker rooms that were in real trouble already. And you and I have been talking about this. Big Ben is called out before this, because he called out Tomlin again essentially this week. He called him out twice last year on camera. He called him about the practice regiment. He's like, it's too hard. Why are we hitting like this? And he called him out after the Dallas game. He said, they were prepared. I wish we were. That doesn't happen in this league. That doesn't happen. I mean, Marino and Jimmy Johnson at the end didn't get along, but generally, even if you don't like the coach or the quarterback, you don't talk about it. So I think their locker room, you said the Seahawks locker room's in peril. I think Pittsburgh's for the last year or two has been in peril, and this just ignites it.
I think you're right. I think the Steelers are an example of what's going on across the NFL. Now, I do think there is a side that's starting to win, but I do think this issue and all the unity, and I don't think the majority of NFL players agree with the taking a knee thing. And I think that's across color lines or whatever. I think a lot of people have been forced and felt like social media would eat them alive, or their teammates would eat them alive, or they'd look like sellouts if they didn't take a knee. I do think it's been divisive, but I also think that these calls for unity are a reminder to players like, you guys do know what sports are about. They're about coming together despite differences, not promoting differences and driving each other apart. So I think eventually it may land on unity, but right now I think there's a lot of disharmony around the league.
I agree with that. I do agree with you. One thing, I think some of the players are probably feeling, man, look, I don't want to take a knee. I'm not making enough money to take a knee. If I get cut taking a knee, I'm out of my job. Yeah. So I think with Mike Tomlin, I think that he's a guy that's liked in his locker room, but some players may not like some of the things he stands for with like this issue. But I think he's a well-liked coach, really. But, you know, in a locker room, you try to have everybody get along. It doesn't work like that sometimes. Sometimes the players do call the coaches out. Sometimes the coaches call the players out, which sometimes really is a good thing because you want everybody accountable. Everybody accountable for everything they do and every action that you have. For every action, there's a reaction.
I don't think that these demonstrations actually divide the locker room. I think they create conflict, which isn't always bad. It's something that we have to work through. Every team, and you know this, are going to face some adversities. Well, when it comes to football and politics, football and social justice, this is kind of an adverse situation because it's not football. So we have to deal with this. Right. How are we going to deal with this? The Green Bay Packers choose to deal with it in their way, I think that, which is allowing Aaron Rodgers and those guys to talk about it and come to a decision. The Pittsburgh Steelers weren't able to come to a decision. So then Mike Tomlin had to be head coach and say, this is what we're going to do. And that wasn't agreed upon. So no, yeah, that's going to create some conflict. And to your point, Big Ben has been on the opposite end of the table for a long time when it comes to Mike Tomlin. And personally, that's the biggest divisive deal there because you have a lot of young guys.
Football issue.
Yeah.
But
I'm
agreeing with you. They're on opposite sides over football reasons. But again, Greg, I don't want to understand this. Conflict is good, I think, in a locker room environment if we're conflicting about playing time, strategy, things like that. You can't solve political conflict. And so once you unleash that in your locker room, the Republicans and Democrats have been going at each other for 50, 60 years.
What did Mike Tomlin say? We want to just get to playing football. That's what we want. We want to play football. Forget all this other stuff. Just like the guy that came out, the Ranger. He was an Army Ranger. He came out and stood. He fought in a war. I mean, so you can't say, look, you should stay in the locker room. I've been there. I've done that. Just like I'm here for you, I've been there also. So you can't hold that against him. So it's just, like I said, let's just play football.
Yeah, it is interesting, though. Hurricane Irma, Harvey, 9/11, we have seen where chaos does create some unity. There are opportunities to say, man, this is, if you can acknowledge, it's not catching anybody by surprise. The president's talking about it. This is not an unspoken thing.
But Irma, Harvey, 9/11, there's only one side to those tragedies. There's only one side to be on. When it comes to politics, there's 2 sides, 4 sides, 10 sides.
But the side of most players is, let's get past it and play football. So can you create resolution over, listen, guys, we may be divided, but we have a game in 45.
But see, I think that's the angle that the Packers are trying to take. It's not about protest. They just want to show the world we're unified. We understand that these are issues. We can't solve the issues, but we want to let you know that we're going to come together. We're going to stand in unity. We're going to love one another. But ultimately, we have a job to do as a
listen,
football player.
I agree. I think there will be certain teams that will do exactly what you're saying, like, we can't solve this political thing. Let's play football. But again, let's say you're the Seattle Seahawks. Last night, Michael Bennett and Doug Baldwin were on CNN, and the conversation didn't have a damn thing to do with football. Right. They're taking their team headfirst into social justice warrior land, and I don't care what Seattle is, what the city is, what Pete Carroll is. Not everybody in that locker room, hey, man, let's play football. Let's try to win games.
I agree with that.
Let me try to get my next contract. On a Wednesday. Again, this was Tuesday, their off day, Monday, their off day. On Wednesday, they're on CNN talking politics. Bad play.
Welcome back. Eric Dickerson here again, now joined by my co-host on The Herd, Christine Leahy. Let's move to New England. She knows that well. Used to work Boston, where Tom Brady's been balling so far this year. He leads the NFL in passing yards and TDs at 40. Despite the big numbers, the quarterback is getting hit at an alarming rate, which Whitlock pointed out a couple of days ago. Already taken 10 sacks so far this year, very unpatriot-like. As you see there, taking the 2nd most hits of any quarterback in the AFC. Doesn't even sound right. Even still, the 40-year-old says, feel great.
Honestly, I mean, I know you guys think I'm crazy when I say it, but probably when I was younger, it was a lot harder for me. So now I actually feel better, faster, just based on the things I do. So today I feel good. I mean, I feel good.
You expect Brady to hold up all season?
Listen, I got to eat a lot of crow. I expected Tom Brady to show his age. And 3 weeks in, he's putting a clown suit on me and the rest of the league. As I said, even when they played the Saints, he took shots. He threw passes with guys in his lap. He looks incredible. Will he hold up? No. He's 40 years old. Eventually, he's going to look 40. If he keeps taking these kinds of shots, I don't care what he eats, avocado every day. It's going to hurt, and his play will drop off.
I think nutrition matters. I think 40 today is 35 10 years ago. Now, again, that's still old, but I think people, I mean, we've seen it before. You know, there's certain athletes who are obsessed. I mean, they're all obsessed to be this great, but I think he's different. He's been, first of all, he's been very fortunate. Of all the things the Patriots always have, Jason, they don't always have a great defense. They have almost always had a really good offensive line.
That's getting him hit.
Well, no, now this, you're right, this year. But for the last 12 years, Jason, not the Cowboys level, but he hadn't taken a lot of hits. He's a young 40.
When is the last time Tom Brady missed a game because of injury? 2008. So why all of a sudden do we think that this is going to be the year where, oh, he can't make it, or he's not durable enough, or he's going to get hit too much? He's on pace to have his best passer rating ever for his entire career. And it's making me start to wonder, is this a 40-plus-year-old guy thing that you guys just can't imagine a 40-year-old man being able to play football at that kind of level? And so this has to be the year that it shows up?
I can't.
Well, when you play football at a certain age, I think when you get in your late 30s, they think, you're old. I mean, seriously, and still you're really a young man.
Right.
I mean, and as for a quarterback, I mean, he's still a young man because think about his arm. It's about your arm. It really is about your arm. It's not about, it's in a sense, it's about your body, but it's about your arm. And you're right about one thing. If he keeps taking these hits like he's taking, his body's going to break down because these guys are not messing around. You're talking about two 250-pound guys, you got a 300-pound guy, and it's all it takes is one wrong turn, one wrong twist. That's all it takes.
Why are we all of a sudden on this narrative that this is going to be the year? There's no but there's no indication.
I don't want it to be the year. I got him as my fantasy quarterback. I'm loving him.
No indication that he's going downhill except for the fact that he turned 40.
Hey, by the way, Tony Bennett, like it's 65. You're like, he sounds like he sounded at 35. Some people get good DNA.
You just compared Tom Brady to Tony Brady.
Well, I mean, but I'm saying is there are certain people. Look at the numbers here on Brady. I mean, just the graphic I'll throw up to you. It's you know, it's pretty remarkable. If you look at his numbers, this is pre and post.
He says you sound crazy. Matter of fact, I'm 57. I think I can
post 30. By the way, he's not doing something with his arm like pitching, where it's a violent body motion.
He's playing the hardest position in all of sports.
That is outside of kicker, the least hit position.
He's taking more hits than he normally does. I'm just betting on Father Time. We don't see 40-year-olds play the hardest position in sports at the same level they played it at when they're 25. It just doesn't happen. I'm going with the data for it.
There's no data for him, though. And did you know that he actually practices getting hit and falling? He has people come and just hit him, and then he falls, so that he trains his body to not tense up and to be really relaxed as he falls, so he can get hit. That
sounds good. That you got somebody practicing hitting you. That sounds all good.
Okay. By the way, let me
somebody come flying hitting you for real from the back.
Let me throw this out. Drew Brees is getting close. He threw for 5,000 yards. Folks, the league has changed. Nobody does a 7-step drop. Tom barely does a 5-step drop. It's a bubble screen league. He doesn't get hit.
He's been hit 19 times. He's been sacked 10 times. There's 40 years old.
But he also knows how to get sacked.
Well, I know Christine just walked us through it, that he's been practicing it. But again, listen, 40-year-olds don't do the same thing as 30-year-olds.
In your book,
it's incredible what he's doing. I got to eat crow on it. I hope it continues. I like the guy and respect him. I'm just telling you, Father Time has a better record than Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Keep it up, Tom. My fantasy, he's good for me.
Welcome back. Christine Leahy is here again. We're joined now by the founder of the Big Lead, Jason McIntyre. Let's move to New York, where Odell Beckham Jr. met yesterday with Giants owner John Mara. after Mara expressed displeasure, to say the least, with his receiver's urination celebration against the Eagles last Sunday. Even still, Odell wasn't exactly remorseful about his behavior.
Did you apologize?
No, I said we talked. Mr. Mayor and I talked.
Do you feel in any way that you embarrassed the organization?
More myself, I guess. Only thing is just causing a penalty for the team. That's really it. I don't even know if they knew to call the flag or not, because the look of confusion on their face was, do we throw the flag or not? And then it was kind of just like, you threw the flag. So,
Whitlock, should Odell have apologized to Mr. Maher for that celebration?
Look, man, Odell's a young guy, and like a lot of these young guys in the NFL, I don't think they understand their business. They're in business with John Maher. Half or some percentage of NFL revenue, 49%, 50%, goes to the players. And so we have this very adversarial thing we want to have with ownership when we're actually in business and they're paying Odell a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with pleasing ownership from time to time. If they're upset, feel like you've done something wrong, there's no downside to giving the man an apology and saying it won't happen again. That's not a sign of weakness, that's a sign of maturity.
I mean, an apology is essentially acknowledging poor judgment. I've made it, I'm not gonna speak for you, but I'll do it again. I mean, that's what an apology is. Like, in the moment, my judgment wasn't great. There is something about being a guy and apologizing, and there is a sense that it's a sign of weakness. But what it's really acknowledging is, like everybody else, in the moment, I got caught up in my emotions and made a bad decision. That's all it is.
Only apologize, though, if you mean it, and I don't think he would mean it if he apologized. And did he really do anything wrong? The penalty is the problem, but it's not his fault that he got the penalty. That was the ref's decision. Because here's the thing, is what he did sexual? Is what he did a weapon? And since when is a dog peeing a terrible thing? Like, he's marking his territory. His territory is the end zone. He's having a good time. I don't see the problem with it.
You're a dog lover, aren't you?
Well, I do love dogs. Yeah.
I love dogs, too.
I like dogs.
But what's
I'm not pleased by urinating.
It's not a threat.
What's the overall big question, right? Like, you don't want to set that example for kids watching
Poor
at home.
taste.
Because maybe your kid's going to go and imitate a dog peeing by
poor
himself. But
taste.
that's on the parent. If you tell your kid, hey, don't do that.
It's in poor taste.
Why?
It is.
But where do you draw the line?
Do you do it?
No,
Are you going to do it after the show?
But that's just not me.
Colin finishes the herd and is dabbing on people, right? No, but Christine, here's why there's a problem with Odell Beckham, okay? So last year, the quarterback, the coach, the GM, the owner all told him, grow up, mature. What does he do the first time he gets in the end zone? He does this stupid celebration. Listen, the Giants are one of the blue bloods of the NFL. They've been around for a long time, won a lot of Super Bowls. That's a proud franchise. They've had good ownership. They're well run. You don't put yourself above that franchise.
Okay,
and that's what he just did. Wait, let me finish. One last thing. He said he wants to be the highest paid player in the NFL, right? Who are the two highest paid players? Matthew Stafford, I believe, and Andrew Luck. Can you recall any celebrations the highest paid players in the league have done? This is what this guy wants. He wants to be the highest paid, and he wants to act like a clown.
Okay, if we're talking about what's in poor taste and what's not in poor taste, I will continue to bring up this argument. You have women on the sidelines dressed in a bra and little tiny outfits dancing sexually to support the men on the field. They're twerking, they're bending over, they're wearing tiny little outfits. Is that not in poor taste to send the message to all the people out there that it's okay for women to do this and act sexual, but the men on the field can't?
All right, now I'm good with Odell Beckham Jr. You can do whatever you want.
But but you can't have a double standard. We have to make sure that the men are all in good taste and aren't doing anything, but the women do whatever because it doesn't matter.
Well, here's the thing. I think I said this earlier.
Put me in checkmate there. Go ahead.
But no, I think the issue is Michigan football and New York Giants football have probably the oldest fan bases in the country because they've been great forever. And I think there's a little bit of a cultural issue with the Giants right here. They have an old fan base. This was Andy Rooney, like old actors, old businessmen. It really turns them off. For some franchises, like Seattle's a new franchise. You go to a Seattle game, they show pictures, everybody's 38 years old.
You could do this in Jacksonville, it's fine.
But in New York, I do think the Mara family's like, they're trapped. He's our best player. Mm-hmm. He is virtually almost an NBA player in terms of flamboyance and digital empowerment and global recognizability. So I think the Giants have to kind of figure out, this is a weird space for us. Their quarterbacks have been boring Phil Simms and boring Eli Manning and boring Jeff Hostetler. I mean, they've been a boring franchise.
I got it, but I got to go back to Christine's point.
Be careful.
And I'm not. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be authentic. Look, TV. It's a television show.
Entertainment.
No, it's a television show, and we all cannot kid ourselves. Sex sells in television, and in every part of television, and so. I'm not justifying what they're doing because I think you've made an excellent point and pointed out some hypocrisy, but it is TV.
It is TV and it is entertainment. So I actually have no problem with the women doing that and dressing like that, but then the guys should be able to do it too.
Yeah.
It's entertainment. Entertain me. I think it's funny.
Okay, listen.
I think the peeing thing was funny.
It's a television show that's targeted at a certain base.
And you know what needs to stop? Continuing to tell men that that is okay and that double standard is okay. When you have so many men watching.
We're going to have you back tomorrow so I can make better points for you. All right, welcome back. Christine Leahy and Jason McIntyre back. Let's move to Cleveland, where Dwayne Wade signed with the Cavaliers yesterday, reuniting with former teammate and banana boat buddy LeBron James, who is very happy about the move.
One of my best friends, so. You know, it's like, it's kind of like when you start school and, you know, you walk into the classroom, you're not quite sure who your classmates is, and when you walk in there, one of your best friends is in there, you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good class, so it's the type of feeling I got.
As you see there, the Cavs have had a lot of turnover after falling short in last year's finals. Cowherd, did the Cavaliers get better this offseason?
Yep, smarter veterans, tougher, deeper. Boston's had all these changes. I think chemistry matters. LeBron and D-Wade are close friends. Kyrie and LeBron didn't get along. Isaiah Thomas, I think, is excited to play with this team. I really like the Cavs.
I think they got older and more injury prone.
You don't have to play these guys 40 minutes a night. You play D-Wade 12 minutes a night.
I think they got older and more injury prone.
I think you're right. You know, they did get a little better. Jay Crowder, I think, is the biggest offseason piece because he's the guy, if they get to the finals like you think, he's going to guard Kevin Durant. And then LeBron can kind of freelance on defense and take some of the pressure off. But, Colin, I got to say, I don't think they got better than Boston did. Boston added Gordon Hayward, top 30 player in the league. Kyrie Irving, top 25 player in the league. The Cavs got older, like you said. I don't believe this veteran stuff.
They
you know,
did lose
Dwayne Wade, 35.
Boston lost a lot of points and rebounds. Kelly Olynyk's gone, Avery Bradley's gone, Jay Crowder's gone. It's a lot of points and rebounds.
That's fair. Fair point.
On paper, would you rather have Kyrie Irving or Dwayne Wade? I'd rather have Kyrie Irving. And it sounds like LeBron is really excited about having his best friend back. And he's talking about the example of, hey, when you go to class, it's really exciting to see your friend there because you're going to have a great year. But I would argue when you go into your classroom and you see that your best friend's there, you know you're going to goof off for the year and it's more about fun. Unless maybe you didn't have that friend there and you had a bunch of really smart people around you who wanted to work really hard, and then you learn more and you are in that kind of environment. I think that would probably be better.
You got to put the ball in the basket. I get LeBron can do it, Love can do it, Isaiah Thomas can do it. 3 elite guys that can put the ball in the basket. I'm not even talking about core version J. 3. They got 2. They got Gordon Hayward, who's a B+, A-, and Kyrie. I have 3. They have 2.
I know, but we're talking about Boston when we should be talking about Golden State.
Golden State's better than both these teams.
Yeah.
You're asking me here, did the Cavs get better?
No, I get it. Did they get better in a way that will make them more competitive against Golden State?
By the way, the gap between Isaiah Thomas and Kyrie Irving.
Is this a dodge?
No.
That's just a direct question. Did they get better in a way that will make them more competitive against Golden State?
Yes. They'll lose, but it's more
But, Colin, you're missing also one kind of important point. The LeBron cloud hovering over the franchise all season. That is still unanswered.
Everybody basically on a 1-year contract.
Yeah, it's like Dwayne Wade's all excited. Kevin Love's going to be shooting from the corner, and every shot he's going to be thinking, damn, where am I going to be next year? Sitting here in Cleveland with no LeBron.
Isaiah's looking for a new contract. Everybody, this is going to be the most combustible team in the NBA.
Can we acknowledge the fact that this is a reboot of Miami? This is what they're trying to do. Coming to America, it just announced today, is going to be rebooted. Not going to be as good as the original.
Is that
a reboot? Is Chris Bosh on his way?